Most buyers in coastal Delaware tell me their #1 requirement, and then they buy a house that doesn't have it. Because bigger homes and better value, that often pull people toward locations that don't actually fit how they want to live. Once you realize the problem isn't the house, it's where the house sits, and there's no renovation that can fix it. I watched a family learn the hard way. They spent $100,000 and 3 years fixing a single decision they could have gotten right the first time. So let me tell you about the Coopers. They've been coming to Bethany Beach for close to 20 years, and they loved it. And when they finally decided to make the move full time, they did what felt smart. They let the budget lead, west of Route 1 in Bethany West, and their money went a lot further at $750,000. It got them genuinely a beautiful home with a lot of space, more house, newer construction with lots of amenities built right in. And on paper they won, but in real life, here's what happened. Every single thing, it was a drive to get morning coffee, to get to the farmer's market, to get to Clear Space Theater or the Lewis Library programming, or even just dinner on 2nd Street, running into somebody they knew. All of it was a drive. What they actually wanted was to walk out their door and already be somewhere. They wanted culture within walking distance. They just hadn't named it before they bought. Within 2 years, they sold Bethany West and bought in Walden, in Lewis, for $825,000. A smaller footprint, but where they needed to be. It was close to Clear Space, and it was close to the library in Lewis, and it was close to the canal trail, and close to the rhythm of a town that has something going on in January. And they're happy now. But getting there cost them 2 transactions, 2 sets of closing costs, and the better part of 3 years. You can renovate almost anything in a house. You can change the kitchen and the floors and the bathrooms, but the one thing you can never renovate is where it sits. I'm Andy Staton, and I've spent more than 20 years helping people buy and sell on this coast. Over 1,000 homes across Lewis, Rehoboth, Bethany, Dewey, and the communities around them. Instead of telling you which town is best, because that's the wrong question, I'm going to give you 3 questions by the end of this video that will match you to the right part of coastal Delaware better than any vacation memory ever could. Step 1, figure out what kind of town you actually need. Start here because it reframes everything else. A vacation rewards novelty and energy. You want loud and busy and always something happening because you're only here for 7 days and you want to feel all of it at once. A life rewards rhythm and ease, and it rewards the version of a place that shows up on a random Tuesday in February, when the rentals are empty, when the crowd is gone, and what is left is the actual town. And that's why the vacation town and the living town are often so different. Most people fall in love with coastal Delaware in its loudest, busiest, most crowded week of the year. And then they buy based on that week and spend the other 50 living somewhere that was designed for the 7. Well, the Coopers, they fell in love with Bethany Beach in August. And in August, Bethany, it's beautiful. February, Bethany West is quiet in a way they weren't prepared for. No walkable coffee and no theater around the corner, no reason to leave the car parked. And the fix, it's not complicated. Before you fall in love with a town, you have to see it off season. The quiet version, it's the honest version. That's the one you're actually buying. Step 2, decide which side of Route 1 your money goes to. The simplest map of coastal Delaware is not the towns, it's Route 1. East of Route 1 and west behave like 2 different markets. East of 1, the in-town areas of Rehoboth, Lewis, Bethany, have the closer neighborhoods. And you're gonna pay for proximity and walkability. You're gonna be able to leave the car parked and get to coffee and dinner, the beach, and trail on foot. That access carries a real premium. And our average sale price on this coast, it runs about $865,000. And in the walkable pockets, you feel every dollar of it. West of Route 1, inland, communities towards Milton and Millsboro, the planned neighborhoods like Bethany West, your money stretches noticeably further. More square footage, newer construction, resort-style amenities built into the community, like pools and clubhouses and pickleball. But what you trade away is the walk. You drive to town. Again, neither is the right answer. They're the answers to different questions. The Coopers bought West Route 1 and they got more house. But what they didn't account for was how much the walk mattered. The inland home won on price per square foot, but lost everything they cared about day to day. And the mistake is comparing them only on price per square foot, because the inland home almost always wins, and it quietly pulls people toward a lifestyle they didn't actually want. Step 3, answer 3 questions before you look at a single listing. Here are the 3 questions I would ask you if you were sitting across from me. Question 1, picture a normal Tuesday, not a vacation day, a Tuesday in February. Are you walking out your door to get somewhere, or are you gonna get in the car? If you need to walk, you're an in-town buyer. Well, that narrows things pretty fast and saves you from Bethany West when you actually want Walden. Question 2, do you want a town that is alive in January? Some of these places have genuine all-season rhythm, and Lewis has the canal and the trail, clear spaces over in Rehoboth, and the library programming in Lewis. They have restaurants that stay open and locals who show up, while others that get very quiet once the rental's empty. Well, neither is wrong, but choose it on purpose. Question 3, be honest. Is the house the priority, or is the location? If your priority is the home itself and the space, the finishes, the newness, inland gives you more of that for the money. If your priority is the life around the home, you buy location and let the house be a little smaller. Well, the Coopers thought they were buying a home. They were actually buying a lifestyle. They just didn't know it yet. My honest read on each town after 20 years on this coast is that Lewis gives you balance, coastal life with history, and an all-season pulse, and enough going on culturally that February doesn't feel like exile. It's where people who want to be part of something end up. But Rehoboth gives you energy and walkability, and the boardwalk at your back, and restaurants within a short walk, and a shoulder season crowd that stays for Indian summer. It's the buyer who wants to feel the town around them. Well, Bethany's calmer. It's a family-paced, quieter by design. If you know what you want and consistency is the product, well then Bethany delivers it every time. The Dewey, it's small, social, intense, and very seasonable. The buyer who wants to be in the middle of it while it's happening doesn't need much when it isn't. The inland communities give you the most home and the most amenities as long as you are genuinely at peace with driving to everything else. There's no winner on that list. There's only the one that matches your 3 answers. Think back to the Coopers. They didn't make a careless decision. They made the most natural one there is. They trusted 20 years of happy summers. Well, the summers just never told them what a Tuesday in February would feel like. The buyers who get this right are not the ones with the biggest budget. They're the ones who figured out what they actually wanted before they fell in love with a house. And the Coopers? They spent $100,000 in 3 years learning that lesson, and you don't have to. You're not buying a beach, you're buying a Tuesday. Choose the town that feels right on the days nobody else is here. If you want to understand the timing question, when to buy in this market, and why waiting costs more buyers their first choice home than anything else, well, that video is linked right here, and I'll see you there.